Welcome to the Elemental Science Show, where we take the complexities of teaching science and break them down into building blocks you can use in your home. But experiments are messy, and they never work out the way they're supposed to. And quite frankly, it's just frustrating. You know what? The number one reason I hear for people not wanting to teach science at home is experiments. And I get it. I understand. And so this week we're going to tackle that hurdle of experiments, and we're going to learn how to leap right over it. So if experiments are messy and they don't work half the time and they're frustrating, why do we need them in our homeschools in the first place? Well, experiments, they're like the face of science. We get to show them that science is so much more than facts and figures. It's the explanation for the things that they see every day. Experiments provide practical reinforcement for what our students are studying, and they provide the hands-on aspect of science. It's really easy for us to say to our students, hey, you need to memorize the principle of inertia. And they can memorize it probably and repeat it back to us. Our first grader can probably say, if an object is in motion, it will stay in motion unless a force acts upon it. But will they understand what that means? Will they know that when they roll a ball down a ramp, that it will keep rolling all the way down unless something stops it? That it'll keep in motion unless they put their hand there and stop it? The best way they can figure that out is by doing it, by doing experiments. Things like scientific demonstrations, things like experiments, doing nature study, being out and seeing science face to face, seeing these things that they're learning about and memorizing and actually experiencing them hands-on. Okay, so now that we understand why we need experiments in our homeschool, how do we leap over that hurdle of experiments at home? Well, first and foremost, and pretty much all the time, you need to understand that all experiments are just learning opportunities. So if the experiment goes the way it should, awesome. If it doesn't go the way it should, awesome. Because now you have a chance to ask why, and you get to explore some more. And you get to teach your students that science, it's not always what we expect. Sometimes we get different results. And then we dig a little deeper, and we use the scientific method to figure out why. After all, it's not like cooking. Because you see, in cooking, if you make a mistake, a little more of this, a little more of that, not so yummy. But if you make a mistake in science, you might just discover silly putty. Experiments are so much fun, and they're worth our time. Our students love to see and play with the principles of science, and we love to see them learn about science in a way that they'll remember. So, dust yourself off, grab the closest experiment book you have, and get to work. I'll see you next time, where we'll talk about tips for experiment success and what to do when your experiment fails. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Elemental Science Show. I'm Paige Hudson, author and homeschool mom. In addition to sharing these great tips, we also offer a full lineup of easy-to-use science plans for your home, co-op, or school. Head on over to elementalscience.com to learn more